Kim Zolciak is practicing with excitement, because someone from the Real Housewives of Atlanta has been fired. Our only official clue to their identity is that Kim Zolciak doesn't really care for them. That does not narrow down the list. But we can look at other recent clues and use our common sense, right? A couple of likely candidates come to mind. Okay, so all of this buzz about a fired Real Housewife really started when Kim Zolciak tweeted, "Poof. Lost your peach," followed by a peach emoji. Now, she's not using the British slang for a gay person, but means poof, as in a puff of smoke, appropriate for someone's abrupt departure. And, of course, when she says that someone lost their peach, she doesn't mean that their butter vanished. The Real Housewives of Atlanta opening sequence features the various stars holding peaches. But who was fired? In the video below, Kim Zolciak refuses to divulge which housewife is no longer with them. She says that she would get into heaps of trouble. Kenya Moore and Mark Daly for B-Day. But let's look at a couple of top suspects. Kenya Moore has been on thin ice with Bravo ever since she had a secret wedding over the summer. When you're a reality star on a series that's supposed to document your life, you don't get to hide a major life event from producers and stay in their good graces. A funeral? Sure. A trip to the hospital? Absolutely. But not a happy occasion like a wedding. Weddings are a big deal in general for reality shows, either because they're momentous occasions and viewers want to be a part of them, or because weddings are sappy and reality fans go for that, depending upon how cynically you view the world. Weddings stop being private affairs the moment that you sign up to become a Real Housewife, folks. What made matters worse for Kenya, however, was that her already precarious situation with the series became worse. Mark Daly, her husband, refuses to film The Real Housewives of Atlanta. He believes that the series portrays black men in a negative light. Agree with him or not, his reluctance to appear on the show has cost Kenya Moore dearly. It seemed that Kenya Moore had to choose between her husband and her career as a Real Housewife. She did find a way to make it work, sort of. Her storyline's been about living apart from Mark, and we've seen her break down weeping over alleged concern for her marriage. But Kenya Moore has stated that she believes that her job is secure because her storyline speaks for itself. Since Kim Zolciak knows, we'd have to assume that whoever's been fired from the Real Housewives of Atlanta also knows. So, is Kenya Moore bluffing or is she really not fired? Maybe Kenya being such an obvious candidate for dismissal is just a red herring. Because we should really take a look at Nene Leakes. So, remember when Nene Leakes hoped a heckler would get raped, or said as much while doing stand-up? The controversy hasn't gone over well. Some wondered if that alone would get her fired. To add to that, Nene Leakes co-stars have shunned her over her rape gaffe. Things might be getting better now, but that could actually hurt the show. On the other hand, she's apologized, and Bravo may want to keep her because her perpetual feuding makes for a lot of entertainment. A couple of weeks ago, Nene seemed to express confidence that she wouldn't be fired, retweeting a post that read, "Nen has issues, she'll bring ratings to Bravo, people love to see her act a fool, she's securing her spot for next season, my spot stays secure and it's been that way for 10 years. Most people wouldn't necessarily boost something that talks about their issues, but most people aren't reality stars. And then it's always possible that other Real Housewives may have been fired for things that aren't even public knowledge. To top it all off, Kenya Moore may be pregnant, which would really complicate matters. So, you can watch this video and see if you can figure out for yourself who's been fired. Kim seems to be dying to tell the world but has just enough restraint to keep mum. She also talks about how hateful folks have been towards Bella Bit and also about Kim's estrangement from her mother. As for who fired, we'll let you know when you learn more.